Good morning. It is Friday, November 11th. That's 11/11. And this is episode 44. That's 44 of the Running Through My Mind podcast, the only podcast broadcast from a parking lot. This is your host, Don the Idea Guy from DonTheIdeaGuy.com. That intro was just kind of all over the place, wasn't it? I am currently overdosed on Dark Bean Daydream coffee. The show will be powered by Drip Joy's Dark Bean Daydream today. Drip Joy is a sponsor of the show. I've enjoyed sampling their brews over the past few weeks. Highly recommend Dark Bean Daydream. You can find out more about this blend and three of the others that I tried if you go to DonTheIdeaGuy.com/DripJoy. Hey, so it is the end of the week, and oh my, what a week it's been, right? It's been the crazy election from hell. And today is also Veterans Day. So shout outs to all of my friends who have served our country by serving in the military. I respect the sacrifices and dedication and commitment that you guys have all made. Guys and gals have all made. And I am extremely happy to call you friend. So if you know a veteran today, make sure that you say thank you for your service. Maybe take him out for a cup of coffee, Drip Joy or otherwise. And you know, just kind of celebrate the service. I mean, it's great that it lines up with election week, right? Because it's the week we celebrate democracy. No matter how you feel about the person who won or lost, the phrase that keeps coming up this year especially is the peaceful transference of power, which I just think is phenomenal. And you don't have to like each other. I saw the brief press coverage of President-elect Trump's visit to the White House, where he got to sit down with President Obama for the very first time. And there's no love lost between these two guys, right? Ever since President Obama took office, Trump kind of rose up against him. And then during the campaign, there was certainly ugly things said on both sides, to whatever degree you want to discuss it. But Donald Trump won, and he got his visit to the White House. He got his sit down with the current president to talk about what happens during the transfer of the overlap of their presidencies as one leaves office and one comes in, and what has to go on behind the scenes to make that happen. And they were civil to each other. And in a campaign as kind of ugly as this one seemed to have been, they said nice things about each other in front of the camera. They shook hands. There are memes going around where they've got close-ups of both individuals, and the looks on their face kind of say it all. There is outrage about the fact the traditional photograph of the two families outside the White House was skipped or postponed or canceled, and one side blames one group, the other side blames the other, and I really don't think that either one of those guys cares about that photograph. I don't think President-elect Trump was slighted by it. I don't think President Obama was hurt by it. They don't like each other, but they are going to have one huge common bond, and that is they will have both held the highest office in our country. So, hey, celebrate the process, if not the individuals, right? This will conclude our election coverage, and hopefully we're not going to talk about politics at all in the coming weeks. Politics is not my game. I don't have a whole lot of fun talking about it, but I like the concept of democracy. I like the concept of what our forefathers have put together. They called it the grand idea. How can I not respect something called the grand idea? So, hey, what are you going to do this weekend? I'm going to be working on a couple of projects. I've got I'm participating in NaNoWriMo and I've got a lot of catching up to do writing-wise, so hopefully I will get some time to lock myself in a room and type away at the keyboard. Feels good. I feel prepared for it. I've got a couple of different concepts in my head to take the story out of the pit I felt I was writing myself into, and the concept I'm going with this year to try and get further than I have in past years is to write short stories as the chapters. And I kind of dug myself into a hole on this one. I don't know where it's going, but the cool thing about what my strategy is this year is I'm just going to bail. I'm just going to jump into another story, and at some point I'll go back to that chapter and figure out a way to weave it into one of the other pieces. But I've got ideas for a minimum of 2, possibly 3 other stories. So I'm just going to jump into those chapters and tell those short stories. And then I am putting together my Creative Box Club stuff. I had a big box of stuff show up this week. I'm really excited about the concepts within and how those package together. I thought I was done putting stuff in the box, but I just saw a great item that I have to add to it, so I'm going to order those today, and we'll have those, hopefully everything in to ship next week. I really want to get it out of here before Thanksgiving. I know I'm a couple weeks behind on it. My lab rats, my guinea pigs, as I'm calling my first charter members, have been really patient. I think they're excited to see what comes through. My wife, Happy, is also a member of the club, and she's the only one who's gotten a peek to see what kind of things are going to be put in the box. She doesn't know a lot about the concept that ties them together, but I'm excited about that. I did manage to get 1 extra set of everything, so I'm going to have 1 extra box that I think I'm going to keep as an archive, or maybe I'll auction it off or something. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but right now I do have 1 extra box. I've closed membership in Creative Blocks Club. You can go to creativeblocksclub.com to see what the club consisted of, but the links to buy should all be removed now, and it says that membership is closed. If you want to be alerted when I open it back up again, if I open it back up again, just to make sure to jump on the email list. I need to get an email out to my list. I'm really terrible about consistently sending out an email list. This is kind of why I like, I've talked about this in past episodes, the habit, that daily habit of the daily podcast. Every day I do 1 podcast, right? Monday through Friday, you get a podcast from me. I've committed to that. My daily sticky note at bigyellowsticky.com every single day, 365 days a year, 366 this year. There's 1 sticky note. But committing to 1 email sent to my list once a week, for some reason, just seems to be beyond my scope. I have no idea what my issue is there. I need to get the hell over it. I love my list, and I've had this happen before. I've had a list, and it just kind of died. And once I moved it over, the old email platform I had it on, they went out of business. That's how long ago it was. And when I tried to move it over to the new platform, which is, I'm using MailChimp now, they wouldn't accept the addresses as an import because they were too old. And once I got them vetted through a third-party service, I think only 1/3 of the email list was left, maybe 1/4 of the email list was left, because people's email addresses, they changed, and, they moved their jobs, and they bounced and cracked. They didn't exist. So that email list was not kept up to date, and it atrophied. It was kind of this limb that the muscles got weak on, and basically they had to be amputated. So I want to keep this list going. People sign up every day because I promised to send them something, and I need to send them some stuff. So something's definitely going out to the list this weekend. We'll see if we can get back on the horse and get that down to a weekly thing. See, I'm not perfect. Also, I'm really excited about is one of the listeners scheduled a phone call with me, kind of a 15-minute get started call, which I'm really excited about. He's got a list of concepts he wants to discuss. I think the list is aggressive for a 15-minute phone call, but hey, we'll see how far we can get through the list, and maybe we can talk about setting up some custom coaching, creative coaching or creative consulting, if it's of value. I think I've got some ideas to share with him, and if he sees some value in them as well. Maybe the podcast has won me a new client. We'll see how that works out. See what happens when you put stuff out there in the world. Things come back at you. That's it for this week of podcasts on Running Through My Mind. That's hardly all that's running through my mind today, but I really need to get into the office and get to work. So that's it. What are you going to put out into the world this weekend? What are you going to work on to not just benefit yourself, but benefit the people you serve and your customer base and the people that you hope to serve, your prospect list? What are you going to put out there? Who are you going to connect with and add some value? That's your project to work on this weekend, and I will talk to you Monday. Enjoy it. Bye-bye.